Good morning. So having discussed yesterday ovens and dishwashers, let's now turn our attention to stoves. And I want to begin by discussing glass induction hobs first because of the principle of Glassware, and we'll turn to other stoves. So glass, in the times of the Rishonim, a major debate arose with regards to the status of glass. Because on the one hand, we know the Torah tells us that many materials can be kashered through the entire processes we've been discussing. However, there are some things which cannot be kashered, classically clay heres, earthenware utensils. It's implicit and clear in the Hachamim, implicit in the Torah and clear in the Hachamim, the earthenware cannot be kashered. And so any earthenware utensils, and incidentally, it's worthwhile just mentioning here now, the Shulchan Aruch rules as well, that even glass coated utensils or ceramics, all of that cannot be kashered for Pesach, and one cannot use that on Pesach in any circumstance, really. So the question was, how does one view glass? So some of the Rishonim took on that you look at the end product of glass. Since glass at the end of it is smooth, it's what they call shia, it's smooth and it's hard, it cannot really absorb taste, and therefore you don't have to kasher it at all. Whatever you use it for during the year, it can be used on Pesach, and you can even use it for meat and milk. And indeed, this was the opinion of Rabbeinu Tam, the Rosh, and many other Rishonim. On the other hand, there was a significant amount of Rishonim, primarily Ashkenazi Rishonim, who took on that glassware is similar to earthenware in the sense that it's made from sand heated to an extreme temperature, and therefore, just like earthenware cannot be kashered, so too glass cannot be kashered. This is not so well known, but there is actually a third opinion, which is certainly a minority opinion, but remarkably, this was the opinion of the Rambam. Rambam writes this explicitly, that glass has the same status as other metals. So glass can be kashered, but needs to be kashered. It's not like those who held it cannot be kashered at all, like earthenware. And it's not like those who held that it doesn't need to be kashered at all. Rambam held the middle opinion that it can be kashered, but it needs to be kashered. What is the ruling with regards to this? The Shulchan Aruch rules very clearly that glass, like the Rosh and Rabbeinu Tam, that glassware cannot absorb or expel, and therefore one can use glass utensils throughout the year for meat and milk subsequently. One can have a coffee with milk in one's glass and then later on wash it out and have a chicken soup later on in the glass. And so too on Pesach, one can just wash the glassware, and then one can use that on Pesach, and that applies to all kinds of utensils, all kinds of glassware, even those which go in the oven, can be used on Pesach without kashering at all. The Ramah, however, took on the more stringent opinion of the Rishonim, which is that it cannot be kashered at all, and this is the practice of the Ashkenazim. It's just worthwhile mentioning in parentheses that even in the Ashkenazim, there is an opinion, which there are a number of opinions which say that this stringency of the Ramah was specifically with regards to Pesach, not with regards to meat and milk during the year, and that the Ramah would hold that glassware can be kashered from meat to milk or vice versa throughout the year, but that's a different discussion. Generally speaking, the Sfaradi poskim took on, like the Shulchan Aruch, the Pri Hadash, and indeed Ha'avadah, bin Tzara Bashal took on this way. The glass can be used throughout the year for different meat and milk, and also on Pesach as well, without being kashered. However, the Ben Ish Hai did require Hag'ala, did require kashering, and some opinions took it on. And with this, we say that if one doesn't have an minhag, one follows the Shulchan Aruch. The glass doesn't need to be kashered. If one has such a family minhag to be strict, then one should follow that minhag. And therefore, for Sfaradim, a glass induction hob is very straightforward to kasher. It doesn't need to be kashered at all, really. It just needs to be cleaned well and washed properly, and then that's it, because glass doesn't absorb. And this is, as we said, the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch, and therefore it's fine. With regards to other stoves, not induction hobs, but other stoves, so the Ramah did say that it needs libun, but all the authorities disagreed with this, because what's the concern that perhaps hametz would have fallen onto the stove, but then the fire and it would have been absorbed to the fire, but then that very same fire would then destroy it and expel it. And this is why generally the poskim take on that it's sufficient just to pour. Strictly speaking, one could argue doesn't even need to be kashered at all. It just needs to be cleaned. Because of Pesach, we kasher it just by pouring hot water on it. And even if one wants to be extra strict, leaving it on a high temperature and destroying all the chametz around it.